Sir, this is an absolute honor to be able to speak with you. This is Tushar. I'm from India. I represent India Today, a news channel. Firstly, many congratulations on the fact that we have a season three. It's like prayers being answered. A lot of people sitting behind computers are happy. Sitting behind cell phones are very happy with the fact that we have a season three for Reacher. I want to jog your memory back in time. Do you remember the first time maybe you were walking across the street, you were at home, or you bumped into someone and you got your very first feedback on the first season of Reacher? Something that someone said has stayed with you ever since then.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, the first we heard, we launched season one. I knew it was going to be good because I had been involved in the production and I'd seen it being made and I saw it being edited and I saw the final version and I knew this was a really good show. But you never know how popular it will become, and so there was a little period of wondering how well is this going to work, and it was huge immediately. And so I think the first feedback we got was Amazon Prime asking for season two. That was really the important feedback because Amazon has tremendous data and tremendous relationship with its audience. And so they were the first ones to understand how committed the viewers were. And so they made the decision to go for season two straight away. And that was the best feedback we had. It proved that it worked immediately.
You know, also what is very interesting is the fact that anybody and everybody who's read the books is so happy with the series. It's not very often that happens. That's a very tricky place to sort of be. Like in season three, the fact that the trailer gave a nod to his love for coffee, something as simple as that was picked up, right? Talk to me a bit about that, like how you have been able to stay so loyal to the love that the fans have for the books and made sure that the feedback that comes from the readers is never passed away.
Well, the answer to that question is that even though the production is obviously huge, hundreds of people working on it in all different types of jobs, they are all readers of the books and they are all fans of the books. So really it happens automatically. They're doing it because they love the books and they take great pleasure in finding those little things that are, because they're readers too. That's really the key to it. It's not people making a show about something they know nothing about. They're making the show because they love the books. And so it's natural that they're going to put all that stuff in, which means that they're no different than the audience, really. They love the books, and so they provide what they want, which is also what the audience wants.
Absolutely. And you know what I thought was very interesting is the fact that when you have a movie with one of the biggest stars in the world, when you have Tom Cruise sort of be the face of a character, but then the feedback that you get, or perhaps you realize that, okay, anybody and everybody who's watched the film has come back and said that we don't see the person that we see in the pages of the book on screen. It doesn't match to what we are reading. And then you decide to sort of take a step back and do the opposite, which is you find a person, a human being, and an actor who just fits like a glove to the hand. I just feel like Alan was born to play Reacher, right? I can't think of any other person now on the planet to play this role. Talk to me about that transition from Tom Cruise to Alan. How did that go about?
Well, there were two factors, really. One was the actor, of course, and I'll talk about that in a second. The other thing was the running time that we had, because movies are very short compared to a book. You've got to cut out almost everything, and you end up with about an hour and a half of content. And so it's really very different than the book. Whereas with streaming season on television, you have as many hours as you need, so you can put it all in. And you're right that the physicality of Reacher was very important. And Tom Cruise, for all his other virtues, he's a great actor, he's a lovely man. For all his other virtues, he did not have that physicality. So we were absolutely determined to find the right actor, which was not easy because most actors are pretty small. I used to work in the theater, then I worked in television. I've worked with actors all my life. And generally speaking, they are small, which is a very interesting phenomenon. Why is that? And the number of big actors is quite limited. So we had a hard search But Alan, we were very lucky that he first of all was big, and secondly, he is the kind of actor who can really understand a role and somehow put it on the screen without seeming to try. He just is Reacher. This is not an actor pretending to be Reacher. He just is Reacher. And so that is a very rare skill. So we were very lucky to find a big guy who could also do that.
Absolutely. To step back from the Reacher for a second and say, hypothetically, in a parallel universe, if you had to pick a book and say, okay, somebody's sleeping on this book or these books, I think it's time somebody puts this on the screen. Is there a series or a book perhaps you think needs to get its due on film?
Oh, there are lots and lots of books that would make great TV series. And of course, a lot of them are made. But yeah, I can't pick out one out of dozens that I think would make great TV. And I bet you right now people are working on them, trying to turn them into TV. Because it's not really about, is it a book, is it TV, is it a film? It's about the story. There are so many great stories, so many great characters out there that I'm sure that from now till the end of time, we could make great television out of them.
The Reacher also goes out of United States. I mean, in today's world, the world is becoming smaller. He could just be anywhere. He could get a call. He could have a mission or a duty. What do you think of India? Have you ever thought of perhaps getting him to the shores of our country? Because there's a lot happening here, trust me.
I know, it would be great. And I think that I would love to bring him to different countries, but I don't want to turn it into like a travelogue thing. Because if, let's say he came to India in the next book, then the Australians would say, he should come to Australia. And the Japanese people would say, he should come to Japan. And I would have to move him all around the world forever. So it's an organic thing. If there's a good reason, maybe if the bad guy is in India or something like that, or a friend is in trouble in India, he would go. But I don't want to do it just for the sake of travel.
Absolutely agree with that. I want to leave you with one last question, which is, you've said something very interesting in one of your chats, which has sort of gone viral on the internet. You've said that the main mistake that someone does while writing is he falls in love with his main character. Don't do that. There needs to be a sort of a distance that you keep. How did you manage that when you wrote these amazing books over a period of these years?
Well, I think it shows up in the books that I put in the bad parts as well. You know, Richard's not all good. He has some bad sides to him too, and we see that on the screen. And I keep them in because that keeps him honest. It keeps him real. And you're right, there's a danger that you fall in love with the character, you make him all good, all sugary, all nice all the time. And that is not convincing at all, because none of us are nice all the time.
Okay, thank you for speaking to us. I can't wait for the world to see season 3 and then season 4. And we just need more of Jack Reacher in our life. Thank you for all the books. You have a lot of fan following in India and all across the world, like you rightly said. Just a big, big thank you from India and all the fans of the books and the series to you, Lichai.
Well, thank you very much. And I say thank you to India too. It's great to know that you're enjoying him.